Hi, everybody. We have a real treat for our audience today. We have a future Rock and Roll Hall of Famer in the studio with us, Kenny Olsen. I do a disservice to him by telling everybody um, who he's played with, because whoever he's played with, he has, with his guitar genius, he's always elevated the music to so much better. But I'm honored and I'm a big fan. Everybody, this is Kenny Olsen.
Thank you. That was very kind.
Hey Kenny,
Hello,
so
buddy.
all the girls were excited to come on to talk to you. I mean, that's a honor within itself.
I'm totally flattered. I'm like very much so. So yeah.
Hey, so talk about this. When did you know that you really wanted to go on tour and actually play guitar? When was that feeling for you? Do you remember how old you were?
You know, I was pretty young. I think it kind of chose me, and I didn't know any better. No, I mean, I guess I was, I was blessed, growing up in Detroit and, Motown and Detroit rock city, all the funk and the old school blues and jazz, everything kind of poured in me at a young age. And I think, I was like, I think I remember when Foxy Lady first came on the radio, and I was just this little kid that, you'd get your parents, you get a bath and you'd like run around the house when you're 3 years old and, run out of the house without your clothes on and stuff. And I used to run around singing Foxy Lady, playing air guitar. So, that was, it could have started then, I guess. But, it was like one of those things like in any art, finding what your voice is. And, because I played a little bit with drums and, I started guitar, just because guitar was what I was going to do to accompany myself singing. And, guitar became a voice itself for me. So, I always like emulating like amazing singers like Gladys Knight or Aretha or Shock, all these people, and like play guitar like they sang to kind of, be able to feel that Holy Ghost feeling that they feel when they hit those notes and stuff. So I guess, I don't know, it was a calling at a young age, and I just kind of didn't know any better. I mean, it's all I've been pretty blessed. It's all I've ever really done for a living. I've had some shit jobs and crazy shit along the way, like everybody does, that, but I've been, it's been a lot of fun though, so I, but the high, with being choosing this lifestyle, I guess the highs are high, really high, but the lows are even can be really low too. So it's, the art of being a blues man, I guess, or an artist itself. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really know how to, I guess that's the best way I can answer it. In that long, all those words.
Sherry?
What did you say?
I knew you were waiting to say something.
I don't know. Well, what age did you decide you got into music? I was just kind of curious. I like to ask people that question. When did you know?
I mean, that really at a young age. I started playing guitar. I got my first electric guitar. I went out and bought that. I had a little paper route and was mowing people's yards and shoveling driveways and all that stuff, and got my first electric guitar when I was like 10. My dad had a guitar lying around, had some guitars around, and I had uncles that played guitar, and grandpa played piano, big band, jazz era stuff, trumpet, and all that stuff. So, but my parents were that cool age too, right? We had a lot of cool rock and roll and blues and jazz and R&B records around the house at a young age. So I think, by the time I was going into junior high, I knew that's what I was going to do for a living, I guess. So
yeah, it's usually at a young age. So what have you been doing to keep your mind off of the craziness that's going on in the world these days?
I know, God. It's pretty overwhelming.
Uh-huh.
I think it's for everybody, and I just hope things can get better. I mean, everything is just I don't want to get into the whole political thing. It's just it's so screwed up. It's ridiculous.
But where are you? What state are you in? Where are you at?
State of confusion. No, I'm in.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, I'm in Michigan right now. I just came back from Los Angeles like a few days ago. But I don't know what I've been doing. I've been writing a lot in these times of soul searching. I've been a lot of good creative things have been coming out, and so I've been writing, recording. I guess I've been golfing a lot too. It's just I don't know, and out boating, just kind of taking it easy too, because we've had so many shows canceled, and I've just I don't know. I mean, so I've just at least taken advantage of the beautiful state of Michigan right now. I haven't been back.
Oh, sorry.
What's that?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just babbling.
Talk about this. What was it like for you to take your trip from LA to Detroit? Because when I think of Detroit, talk about that experience, but also to me, the first thing out of my words is Detroit Rock City. I think of Kiss, 1975, rock and roll.
Yep. That was they coined it. They said it right. Detroit Rock City. And it's still Detroit Rock City. Detroit's coming back. I've been commuting at LA for the most part the last 2 years, and I've been in Nashville almost the last 10 years, I guess. But I grew up here in the Detroit area, and after I quit Kid Rock, and I decided to go down to Nashville for a little bit. But I've been back up here in Michigan quite a bit when I'm not in LA, and getting back to my roots, and doing a lot of cool stuff, working on an album doing kind of like a documentary thing with a lot of old school legends, and bringing back all that old soul and substance that's been missing from music, and working with some great people that I started doing this a while ago, and unfortunately there's so many people, great legends that were supposed to be part of this, that are no longer with us anymore. And I'm trying to do what I can in this time period, and why we can. But so it's but we're doing that, and then I've been going out to LA with me and Steve Perkins and from Jane's Addiction, Norwood from Fishbone, Scott Page, which I know you guys had Scott on the show, who's played with everybody, Derek Day, Will Chaplin, Roberta Freeman. We've got a lot of special guests, but I've been doing the thing with the Think EXP thing with those guys for the last couple of years, and it's been a lot of fun. They're all just amazing people. We're all like amazing musicians. So it's
I have to ask something. I have something interesting to tell you about Steve Perkins. He went to Notre Dame High School. I was a cheerleader at his high school, so I used to go see Steve when he was in the band Disaster at Troubadour back in the day. That's awesome. I don't know if he's got to remember me if you bring it up, because he was friends with this guy Steve Whiteman, and I was friends with his sister. So we used to party together all the time in high school. So I haven't seen him since I graduated, but it's kind of funny that remember those old days, the old Sunset Strip. That was a good time.
Yeah, those were some good old days. Well, you look amazing for being one of those days.
Well, I didn't mean to date myself, but yeah, it's just the reality that I try to take care of. I'm a fitness person, so I try to take care of myself.
That's important. That's like at our age, I found that all my herbal supplements and taking care of myself is definitely working out in my behalf, and so it's
in the COVID climate we've got going on here, it's important to keep your immune system up. Yeah,
it was like like Brian was saying earlier, it was kind of it was pretty freaky getting on the plane and flying to Los Angeles. I'm not gonna lie, it was I didn't know quite what to because I flew back from LA. I guess it was the end of February, beginning of March, right before everything shut down. And I stayed quarantined in Nashville for about a month, and I was working on some of my solo stuff with my record, and so I was just hanging low. And then I came up to Michigan, and I went up to over in the west side, northern side, where Traverse City, where my folks live, and help them out. And then so I was like kind of away from everything. And then coming back and coming right into the city and Detroit, and then going to the airport and flying to LA, and just all of a sudden be around the masses again with the mask everywhere, and then having to be in a hotel. It was, but I think I made it back safe and sound though. I'm feeling good. And,
Kenny, talk about that experience of, have you taken a photo of you playing guitar wearing a mask yet, for one? And then Terry and I have split our time between Los Angeles and then Nashville, because we had 3.6 million views out of there and counting. And then we're going to get Sherry, hopefully at the end of October, and go down there. But really, it was Sherry's idea. So that's why I put it that way.
Well, we got to coordinate. I want to be down there with you guys. It'll be fun.
That would be fun, actually. Sherry, you like that idea?
Yeah, I'm excited to go back to Nashville. I really am.
It's a fun city. I know that it's I know it's kind of a little touch and go there right now, because they it's a tourist city, and you've had a lot of people that just kind of felt like it was free to roam in the Broadway and where all the tourists go without their mask and everything. So now I guess it's not good right now. They got a lot of cases. It's a hot spot. So.
Unfortunately, looking at the news today, I think it's just bad everywhere. So
it is more people are, it's more people are getting tested. So it's like, of course, there's going to be cases.
I actually have a couple of friends that have it right now, and they have really mild cases. So I think the virus is dying down a little bit. My one girlfriend says she doesn't have a fever. She doesn't have a cough. She just has more like sinus stuff going on. But the only reason she got tested is because 3 of the people that plays volleyball down in San Diego had it. So she tested positive, but she's had it for, I think, a week now. And she's been fine. I mean, not fine, but no bad symptoms.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's, I just want to be careful that I don't, if I did, I don't give it to anybody. I mean, I've been on the road so long that I'm more like the cockroach theory, where I've been exposed to so much around the world that I think my body's just immune. So, I wouldn't know if I had it or not. But I did get tested today to make sure, and they think I'm going to be all right. So then I can go visit my family this weekend.
Good.
And not worry about it. So.
Yeah, I thought I had it in January. I went and I had the antibody test, Brian, on Monday, and it came back negative. I was kind of bummed. I was like, God, can I have had this, but I didn't have it, so I got to be careful.
Yeah, I was during NAMM show in February. A lot of people had like a little funk at that time. Yeah. And I remember it was kind of it was a wheezy, chesty kind of feeling where, and a lot of people kind of felt the same thing, and it could have been a milder form. I mean, Kenny,
it was definitely there at NAMM, because I was up, Terry and I we were broadcasting there for 3 days. And then how everybody gets together at the Hilton. I think that was the last massive gathering that I can remember. And I just felt strange there. But you remember, if you saw me, I was the black guy on my Lumo that I had there riding around on a Segway. I ran into you and I saw you, but it's just one of those things we were around. And then 2 other things. I know Sherry's got a question to ask you, but do you know Neil Preston, the world-renowned rock photographer? The one. He's taken all the iconic rock photos.
Yeah.
And then says hi at a Nashville. Her dad's Manuel. She told me to tell you to say hi.
Oh yeah. I know their family. I love them. Her and the whole family. They've been very dear and close to me through the years. Yeah, I know all those people.
They're all friends of ours. So they told me to say hi. So Sherry, when you come down, you'll meet Moralia, you'll meet Manuel. You already met Edie, and you'll meet a bunch of the other friends. So Kenny, that'd be an honor.
Yeah, they're like my family. We kind of had our little California Nashville connection. Like we all kind of went there around the same time. 10 years ago, Manny, and Manuel himself, and him and I have we've had some great hangs. They were like, he can hang in there. Let me tell you, that man, at his age in his 80s, he's got more he amazes me. We've gone on some pretty fun adventures together. And
I was there for his wedding last year.
Yeah, his history, people don't even know. I mean, when he was 16, he designed the Lone Ranger's mask. You know, he did designed the clothes for Sergeant Pepper's. You know, he did the Rolling Stones Lips logo. He did the Beggar's Banquet. You know, designed all those clothes. Rhinestone Cowboy. I mean, it's the Grateful Dead logo. I mean, and it's just so cool because there's all him and I. You know, with our mutual, you know, definition of rock and roll, Keith Richards himself, and he's got all these great pictures around his office of him and Keith when he was younger and stuff. It's great. I love that family.
Sherry, you've been waiting patiently.
No, Kenny, when I was doing all my homework on you, a lot of my friends know that I'm a big Jimi Hendrix fan, and of course Little Wing is my song. So I sent out the song that you did with Shaka Khan of that, and if anyone hasn't heard it, they have to hear that because, you know, it almost surpasses Shaka Khan's vocals in that. But with your close relationship and the blessing that the Hendrix family gave you, what is your favorite Jimi Hendrix song now to perform?
That's a good question. I mean, we went back when we did the Experience Hendrix tours, when I was doing them with them. It was we did a lot of different ones, and it was always equally fun. You know, with a lot. I mean, that's a really good question because I remember. You know, obviously doing Little Wing with Shaka was a blast, but the obscure ones too, you know, with Billy Cox, you know, he's been like family to me since the 90s, and it's been such an honor to be playing with the only surviving he's the last gypsy standing of the band of gypsies, and working with him through the years and learning the Dolly Dagger and all the songs that he played on that are a little more obscure. Have always been a lot of fun. But then, I don't know, I remember when me and Bootsy Collins did Foxy Lady at the Fox Theater in Detroit.
How cool.
And that was pretty amazing. And to be doing that in my hometown, it was me and Bootsy and Eric Gales. But then there was also the time Hubert Stumlin, right before, and Mitch Mitchell is right before Mitch had passed, and we played at the Fox Theater as well. A whole couple of years prior to that, well, quite a few, like, I don't know, a few years prior to that though, and it was right before Mitch had passed, and Hubert Sumlin and we did Killing Floor, and that was, you know, those memories of those performances with those people, are like Paul Rogers and I doing Hendrix stuff. Those, I guess, all stand out because of the versions that we did of them. But I mean, there's so many different songs that, you know, with Hendrix that, as far as listening to, you know, Machine Gun, I don't know, there's so much great music by so many great people, and guys like Jimmy and.
Yeah, but when you perform them, you elevate them. Like, it's almost like you make them better than they originally were. Like, so many of your songs were really, really good. And you mentioned Keith Richards. He even says you're the best of the best. And, you know, to get those accolades, it's great. But also, I know that you're going to be doing an album, and honestly, I kind of like it when someone like you would do an album with guests on it, because then it's more diverse. You can listen to it over and over and over again, you know, because sometimes a voice, you know, gets redundant. So it's nice how you blend, you know, blues, rock, country, and I highly recommend anybody to buy anything connected to Kenny Olsen, because it's really good music. It really is.
God bless. I just want to blow you a big kiss to the phone. Thank you. You know,
so hope Johnny said to say hello to my brother Kenny Olsen. So right, Johnny said hi.
I love Johnny. That's I mean, with music, it's kind of, you know, I've always looked at it, you know, like, there's so many different art forms. You look like a surrealist painter, how like Salvador Dali, you know, just mixes different things, or a chef, you know, like a good chef is a true artist too. They pour each ingredients just the right amount, not too much of this, not too much of that. And music, you know, to me, there's that beauty in the simplicity, but I still like to take from a lot of those old roots. And that's why you listen to like Hendrix or all the way to Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin or, you know, I mean, there's so much. I mean, I could just go on and on and on about all these great musicians, but they all, you know, a lot of the great music took from those roots, you know, like a lot of the great blues and jazz and even old country music, the funk, everything has this gospel root to it, if it's got that soul power kind of thing. So I guess it's a big art of it is just pouring the right ingredients is for keeping simplicity, I guess, you know. But I don't know. But that was very kind of you to say, though. Thank you.
Oh, it's real. It's truth. I know
it's been a long haul.
But I know that you write a lot of music. Where do you get your inspiration? Because I know for me, when I drive, I get a lot of ideas. What inspires you to, you know, put pen to paper?
Well, on the instrument side, it's like guitar wise, I would more just kind of like whenever I just pick something up, I don't really think about anything too much, and whatever comes out, it's kind of like fishing. And if I find something I like, and then as far as lyrical content wise, I'm like more, you know, let's like people like Tom Waits or Joni Mitchell, these great lyricists, where, you know, it's almost like I take, I write a lot of stuff on napkins and random things, and then I hold on. Sometimes I piece them together. Other times I'll come up with a thought and then it just pours out. But I like to, you know, I'm much faster at writing music than I am lyrics. That's for sure. Because I hate like stupid pretentious lyrics, you know, or stuff that's too cheesy or sappy. Where you listen to like the descriptions, the way someone like a Joni Mitchell or Tom Waits or you know, how they just find these cool ways to phrase things. So a lot of times when something just off the wall just comes to me, I've either taken my little voice memo on my phone and saying something weird on my phone, and people are probably walking by like, oh, that is weird. You know, because we're right.
Well, that was one thing about, like, you know, Jimi Hendrix, and I know some of your writing is, it's almost like, depending on your mood, it means something completely different, and there's genius behind that, and that's why, yeah, there's so many dimensions to you.
Yeah, I think that's what makes music fun. I mean, that was definitely, you know, like artists like Jimmy and, you know, many others that, you know, just took all that different kind of thing and put it into it. Is you know, I love that element. And I mean, I think if somebody really has their own voice, no matter what kind of music they do, a style will come out within it, you know. And that's like, I guess, the best compliment any musician could get is when someone says, you know, when they hear something and they know you did it, whether, you know, not from the technical side, from what came from here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best compliment anybody can get, you know. So sorry, I had a phone call come in for a second there.
Popular guy.
I sent the voice, you know. I was like, no.
Hey, Kenny, when were you on stage, or whoever it may have been, playing whatever song it was, when you knew you made it? Was there that one moment that you had when said, this is cool, I'm somebody?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, there's the versions of when I was younger, and then there's the reality. So I don't know. I mean, I remember that when I was younger, when I, you know, my first time I had my real tube amp and my little stomp box and my guitar, and started getting feedback and was making these sounds that I didn't know I could do. It's like somebody else was coming through me at this young age, and I had all the kids in the neighborhood at the end of the driveway watching us jam in the garage. And I like started like riding that wave. It's like, you know, like when you're playing, especially like solo and stuff like that, it's like a surfer riding a wave. And I remember that still clear as day. But as far as, I don't know, there's been a lot of, there's just too many really. I mean, there's definitely been some gigs that, stand out as far as that, like how like you have to pinch yourself and be like, what the fuck? I mean, I remember when we walked out on stage doing Woodstock in front of almost 500,000 people, and you just walk out there and that sea of people, and they're all just yelling and cheering, and it's like it's completely nuts, But we were pretty blessed in the success we had in the Kid Rock days, and in that heyday, and it was just we never expected a bunch of guys from Detroit making this record, and they said the same thing we were just talking about earlier, like, what kind of music are you guys? Are you guys like rock? Are you funk? You rap? You punk rock? You country? What the hell are you guys? We're like, we're just making music.
We're just original.
Yeah, and then so it's kind of with me. I like, like the other. I woke up. I don't know, like it was like last month, I guess, and I had always wanted to redo. I've always loved that song "Loving You," by Minnie Riperton, and I always like emulating those kind of vocals. I just woke up and I was in this like mood, and I heard birds chirping, and I was like called up my buddy who has this old vintage studio with a 2-inch tape and everything, and they live close by, and I was like, hey, can I come over and do a song today? Because it just that song came to my mind, and I just felt in that mellow mood to like create this song instrumentally, and I did, and it came out awesome, and it was meant to be, because I played through this little amp that was made in like 1947, which I later found out that Minnie Riperton was born in 1947, and our birthdays were only a few days apart, so that was ironic that I did that. But it was like I like going to the studio and you just making beautiful mistakes. You just don't think about things and you just let it flow out, and that's sometimes I'm in a mellow mood, sometimes I'm in a dreamy mood, sometimes it's psychedelic, sometimes it's funky, sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's swampy, whatever. Sometimes it's like I'm thinking of some old Italian Sergio Leone movie or something. Who knows? It's or some I don't know. Just kind of like to do whatever. I think it's limiting yourself is musically is just kind of like eating the same food every day.
Well, that documentary on Kid Rock was very good. That's one of the best ones. That, the Bee Gees, and obviously, when you do your documentary, please let us know. It is called Movie Reviews and More, after all. I would love to see that because, like you said, a lot of the iconic people are passing away, and it's very unfortunate. There's not a lot of you guys left.
I know. There's at least 18, maybe 20 people that were supposed to be on my record that, like Sherry was talking about earlier, were I'm collaborating with all these people, and there's 18 people at least that just a few years ago were going to be on the record, and they're not even here anymore. So it's you're not lying there. There people are life is very precious,
Yep.
Well, if you think about it, Ken Burns, I don't know if you've ever seen it, The History of Country Music, which is one of the best documentaries out there. Ken Burns, so he did 144 interviews. It took him 7 years, and the reason why it took him so long, he had to get a hold of the people, and then by the time it came out last year, half of them had passed away. So the good thing is that he was able to put them on the interviews, and he just had to wait because some people had one version of a story, another people had another version of the story, and then he had to kind of piece them together, and with all those hours of tape, he didn't want to have anything to waste, but it was really good.
Yeah, it was done really, really, really well. There's been some amazing documentaries that I'm sure you guys have got to see, reviewing them and stuff. And it's it's a very cool, and there's a lot of people are out doing stuff now. There's a lot of awareness being made. A lot of people are being educated on what's really been going on, and a lot of things in life in general. So but I find it's cool with those documentaries that, because there's so many shortcuts now with how people are making music, and just the real deal people are being acknowledged. There's been this long era where people, it's frustrating as a musician. You go play on some record and, your stuff's all over the radio and everything like that, but there's nobody informing anybody who's played on what. They just no one knows. It's like no one cares anymore. But I think that'll change. You know, it'll come back around. With, you know,
I know you got another question there, and we got about 5 minutes.
Let me see. What did I want to ask? You come back to me, Brian. I want to think about this.
Sherry?
A shallow question. So for the guys out there, they probably know what's your drink of choice.
Oh, that's a good one.
My drink of choice? Oh, God.
Jack?
No. I mean, it depends on when we're talking here.
What's the best?
I mean, that kind of changed the era and then kind of watered itself down as I got older.
Tell us like one of your craziest memories, like being on the road.
But I mean, there are oh God, there's a lot of those that involved and there's some that are a little blurry because of the tequila or Crown Royal or the vodka or the, you know, whatever was around then. But I don't know. Yeah, but to answer a question, my drink of choice right now, with as hot out as it is, I just want a glass of water with a bunch of lemons.
That's good. You keep it PG.
I'm keeping it PG. But it's 90 degrees out, and like, you know, we were talking earlier, we got to take care of ourselves these days. So yeah, but anyway, so what were you saying now? What craziest story on the road kind of thing?
Something to stick out.
Oh God, I mean, there's so many. There's so many of them. I mean, it got to the point where, I mean, it's it just, I don't even know I mean, something usually has to like kind of jar my memory to, like, you know, and then I
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, because I like when I just try to pull one out of my ass and just start telling one, it's then I don't tell it as funny as it really was. Or, you know, I'm trying to think though, because God, I mean, it's, I don't think people would even believe half of them. I mean, there was so many crazy moments, and that I don't even. I'm drawing a blank right now to say a good one. I don't want to pick. I don't know. I wish I could answer that. We'll get to hang out soon.
Yes, we can talk about it over cocktails.
Yeah, well, we'll have a few
I'm
cocktails.
a tequila person.
And then, yeah, once I loosen up a little, then I'll be like, oh yeah, and then there was this one time, and then this other time.
Part 2, part 3.
All right,
Yeah,
Sherry,
and then
last question. We got 2 minutes left.
Oh no, Terry and
I asked my question. We got to table it for Nashville. So.
No, Nashville, we're gonna definitely we'll make sure that we're all there at the same time.
We'll go to Manuel's.
Yeah, we got to go over and see him. He'll take us. Now you talk about drinking tequila. That man he can still hold his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you go out with him, you're drinking tequila.
Well, you know what's interesting? I was there for his wedding last year and met his wife, and was with Morelia. I've never seen so many people coming on one person's property in my entire life. I went out to Kenny. I started counting cars. I mean, Terry, I got there and you know, it started at 9 in the morning, and they were still coming. There was over 1,000 people there.
Oh yeah, he is so loved.
That was just that day. You know, this I heard happens every week.
Yeah, he's so loved. It's yeah. So I love what you guys are doing on this show though, with the movie things. I'm big, you know, I love movies and documentaries and obscure cool movies and stuff too. You know, like all those old, you know, I'm always turning people on to suggesting movies and stuff.
All right, give me a good movie. Give me a couple movies that you've been watching, a couple movies that you like.
Well, lately I've been like pulling out some of these old ones, you know, like I like Jim Jarmusch movies and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
I mean, on Netflix lately I've been watching, you know, what have I watched lately that I liked? I'm drawing a blank.
Have you seen Ozark?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was,
Yeah.
and I love those snowshoes in the background too behind you. I want to be in your, even though it's 40 degrees outside. I know that it's cozy where you're at. You got the log cabin feel. I just love that.
I got foxes underneath me right now too. They're rolling around underneath the floor right now.
Awesome. That's so cool. Family of foxes.
Yeah.
All right.
You got to name one. You
And
got
so
to
Kenny-
name one of them Red.
Kenny, give us your social media links on how your fans and everybody can reach out to you.
Okay, well, that's, I'm still becoming one with this whole social media thing. Like I have my fan Facebook thing, and then my other Facebook thing has to be put back up because for some reason when it was the anniversary of Woodstock, and then they were sharing the Kid Rock videos of us playing, and they decided to shut it down the next day. I don't know if it was because of the swear words that were in the performance that I shared, but so now I'm waiting for that to come back up again. So that won't be long though. Mm-hmm. They're doing it right now. And then I have a new website that's under construction, and my son and everybody are helping me learn how to do this whole Instagram thing. So
all right.
I'm totally a product of my generation.
All right. So Pateri Marie, Sherry Nelson, Kenny Olsen, thank you so much for being here to see Fashion Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.